Big changes are looming for millions of Americans who depend on Social Security, Supplemental Security Income, SSI, and Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI, benefits. The chaos currently engulfing the Social Security Administration, SSA, isn't just bureaucratic, it could directly impact your benefits and your future. Today, we're diving deep into what's unfolding, why it matters, and how it could affect you or someone you love. The Social Security Administration is in disarray, and rather than appointing a steady, experienced leader to steer the ship, Senate Republicans are backing a controversial figure, billionaire CEO Frank Bisignano. Known by critics as slash and burn, he's notorious for corporate downsizing and aggressive cost-cutting tactics. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has voiced fierce opposition to this nomination, warning that Bisignano has no government experience and zero background in Social Security. Schumer argues that Bisignano's appointment would ignite even more instability, stating, "He'll pour gasoline on the fire." Here's the clip from Senator Schumer floor speech.
And finally, on Mr. Bisignano to be head of the beleaguered Social Security Administration. We all know SSA, the Social Security Administration, is in a state of chaos, but instead of advancing someone who will bring order and stability to Social Security, Senate Republicans are backing a slash-and-burn billionaire CEO who will only pour gasoline into the Doge fires. Mr. Bisignano has zero experience in government or with Social Security, but he has plenty of experience in cutting jobs and downsizing. He says of himself, "I'm fundamentally a Doge person." That's who they want. Mr. President, American people, Republicans, you want someone who's a Doge person in charge of Social Security? My goodness. I can't think of a worse agency for Mr. Slash-and-Burn Bisignano to lead the Social Security Administration. That's his nickname, Slash and Burn. Every single Senate Republican who votes yes on Mr. Bisignano is voting yes to put Social Security benefits in jeopardy. Voting yes on Bisignano means voting yes on continuing the wave of office closings and mass layoffs. And what they're doing in Social Security, Doge and the Trump people, they're afraid to say they want to kill it, so they try to strangle it. Close offices, longer wait times, phone lines disrupted, emails disrupted. Mr. Bisignano's nomination is another reminder that Donald Trump's chaos is made possible thanks to the complicity of Senate Republicans. They could stop the attacks by Doge if they wanted, they could halt terrible nominees if they wanted, but every Senate Republican, every time, who has a chance to side with the American people instead sides with Donald Trump. They're doing it again with Mr. Bisignano's resignation. The Senate should reject the nomination of Mr. Slash and Burn, or else the chaos we've seen from Doge will only get worse.
Meanwhile, several policy experts are proposing something radical: a fixed $500 monthly increase for Social Security, SSI, and SSDI beneficiaries. Why? Because entrepreneur and tech titan Elon Musk claims to have helped save billions by cracking down on fraud, waste, and abuse within the system. The logic is simple. If the system saved money, those savings should benefit the people who rely on it most, America's seniors and disabled citizens. This proposal is gaining traction, especially among advocacy groups and progressives who argue that inflation and rising living costs have outpaced Social Security adjustments. A flat $500 increase could provide desperately needed relief to millions living below the federal poverty line. If you agree, comment, "I support Social Security change." Let's be clear, this isn't a one-party issue. Democrats say cuts are coming if action isn't taken immediately. Republicans, on the other hand, especially Donald Trump, insist that they won't touch Social Security. Trump promised during his campaign to eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits, but as of now, that promise remains unfulfilled. So who's telling the truth? Are benefits really at risk, or is this political posturing? That's for the American people to decide. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Hear the article from Barron's, which was must-read. Social Security eases up on clawing back overpayments. The Social Security Administration has backed away from a plan to take some recipients' entire monthly checks as it reimburses itself for overpayments. In March, the agency set a withholding rate of 100% of monthly benefits, but it has since dropped the rate to 50%. The new rate applies to overpayment notices that go out on or after April 25 to affected recipients of retirement and disability payments, according to an emergency message from the Social Security Administration. The 50% clawback rate represents an increase from the 10% rate that the Biden administration implemented last year. Before then, the rate was 100%. Clawing back half of a recipient's benefit check is still too much, advocates say. Such a steep reduction will cause an economic and personal catastrophe for many of those affected, says Richard Fiesta, executive director of the Alliance for Retired Americans. About 40% of older Americans rely on Social Security for their entire income in retirement, according to a survey from the National Institute on Retirement Security. Improper payments accounted for less than 1% of total benefits paid from fiscal 2015 through fiscal 2022, according to a report from Social Security's Office of the Inspector General. Most of these improper payments were overpayments, the report noted. Overpayments can result when beneficiaries neglect to report a change in their circumstances to the Social Security Administration, but also from mistakes at the agency's level, the report says. Regardless of the reason, many people aren't aware they are receiving more than they should until they get a notice in the mail requesting that they immediately refund the extra amount, advocates say. The agency typically provides a 90-day window for beneficiaries to request a lower rate of withholding, a reconsideration, or a waiver. If they don't act within this time, the agency will move to recover the overpayment by withholding up to 50% of their benefit until it is repaid. Contacting the agency for recourse has grown harder in recent months because of staffing cuts, advocates and advisors say. It takes longer to reach the agency on the phone and longer to schedule an appointment, they note. Both underpayments and overpayments are now far harder for beneficiaries to correct, since Elon Musk's Doge has hollowed out Social Security, says Nancy Altman, president of Social Security Works, an advocacy group. When the overpayment is through no fault of the beneficiary, the government should absorb the cost. The Social Security Administration didn't respond to a request for comment. The agency encourages Americans to regularly review their earnings record on file, which forms the basis for the benefit calculation. Just imagine waking up one day and finding half your Social Security check gone, because of an accounting error you didn't even know about. Let your voice be heard in the comments. Should the SSA be allowed to claw back benefits at all? Click the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon. Select All from the drop-down menu. That way, you'll never miss another update on Social Security news, stimulus checks, government programs, or benefit boosts. Make your voice heard. Comment below. Share this video. Talk to your elected representatives. And stay informed, because your future depends on it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back soon with more breaking updates on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and more. Until next time, take care, stay strong, and keep fighting for your financial future.